Welcome back to Deal of the Week. My name is Avery and I'm a real estate agent and investor located in the Raleigh-Durham area. And today, for some reason, I want to try my best EA Sports impression, but with my slogan of Deal of the Week. So here it goes. Welcome to Deal of the Week. I don't know, that probably wasn't very good. Anyway, let's get right into it. I am going to hop on my computer, talk about this duplex that just came up in the Durham area, run some numbers, and let's see if it is a deal or no deal. First off, the best deal that you can make out here with me is scroll down and making that thumbs up button blue, and I will continue the rest of this video for you. Now, you don't actually have to do it because I've already made this video and it will play all the way through, but I would surely appreciate it. So here we go. We have 1314 Glendale Avenue, and this is in a fantastic location, in my opinion, in the downtown Durham area. The interesting thing about this property that I noticed right away is someone bought it and then is trying to sell it again without doing absolutely anything. So going down right here before we're looking at the photos, someone bought it for $480,000 in November of 2022. And looking at the photos, it looks like they have done absolutely nothing. I don't think they rented it out to anybody. So the reason they've listed it at this price, I'm guessing, is because they need to sell it for this price in order to pay the real estate agent, pay off all of the taxes and everything associated with selling a property so they can walk away with at least as much money that they put into it, which looks like nothing but the down payment and their own closing costs as a buyer. Looking at this home, it's a pretty cute and standard Durham duplex with one bed, one bath on each side of the duplex. Now, this is pretty standard in Durham because back when a lot of homes were being created, there's not nearly as much density as, let's say, a city like DC, New York, or Boston. So a lot of people could afford these single family homes and had the space to do so. So if someone had a duplex, they ended up just converting a single family home into a one bed, one bath on each side. Because again, this is only 1,500 square feet. And so you most likely wouldn't have had that in the plans to begin with. Possibly, but a lot of homes here that are duplexes that are built in the early 1900s look a lot and feel a lot like this one. So overall, it looks like a nice little home. Looks like it has the original hardwoods. I'm sure it has some sloping issues and water issues, just like every other old home in this area. Looks like they've done some minimal updates, not this person, but before them. So it has an okay-ish little kitchen, and the bathroom is definitely kind of dated. Overall, it's a fine house, nothing too crazy about it. Looks like they have done some updates over time, whoever did. Deck ain't bad, the siding isn't bad, roof actually looks to be in pretty good shape. So overall, not a bad home, and it is in a really great area, so I don't think you'd have much issue in order renting this one out. Just so everybody who's watching knows where this property is, it's pretty close to Old North Durham and Duke Park. So right here we have the downtown, and then Duke's East Campus is right here, and the West Campus is a little bit further away. So this is a really great area of Durham, and again, you'd probably get a ton of students and not really have any issue renting this one out. I own some other property in sort of the vicinity, and when I put that thing out for rent, I probably get 100 people reaching out to me, almost exclusively Duke students. These would be graduate students, and they're all very interested in the property because of how great a location it is. I think not too much more to look at, so let's pop over to the cash flow analysis tool and see how this thing would play out. So if you were purchasing this one yourself, let's call it for a 5% down conventional loan, and if you didn't watch my recent video, you can check it out here. I haven't pointed at the screen in forever, so I think this is the right side. Maybe it's that side. I don't know. I'll link the video up there. They recently just changed so you can put 5% down for a conventional loan, and that's a lot better because it used to be 15% down, and you don't have the FHA where you have the PMI for the length of the loan. With conventional, you can drop it once you hit enough equity. So let's say you do that. You're probably hitting an 8% interest rate in today's environment, and your closing costs about $5,000, $7,500. This thing could use a little bit of repairs. If you paid someone probably 25 grand, if you're in there yourself, probably can do it for a lot less because it's pretty cheap for you to paint stuff and do other things like update the kitchen. So your rent is probably going to be, I'm gonna say, around $1,650 for a one bedroom in this area, depending on how nice you made it. Property taxes, didn't check those out over there. Probably gonna be about $2,500, so let's call it $210 per month. Property insurance, right around there, seems good. You are probably also going to have a water bill every single month. $120 seems like a safe number. And then you are also going to have your PMI associated with this property, and that's going to be about an extra $200. So here we go. You have a $4,200 monthly mortgage payment, and you're going to get $1,650 from one side. Most likely could be less, could be more. So that means you would be paying a pretty decent chunk of change in order to live in this duplex. Now you're in a nice area, it's always going to be rented out. If you're just looking for a place to live that isn't too bad, then you can find yourself in this location without having to spend a crazy amount of money compared to what you would otherwise. But theoretically, you could just rent this property out yourself instead for $1,650. So kind of why would you buy it? And also these people are putting it out there for way too much money, in my opinion. It's going to sell for a lot less. If I were to offer on this property, I would put down a lot less money. So if you then did move out of this property in, let's call it a year or two, then you're probably getting that $1,650. Again, this is not a cash flowing rental. It is more of an area where the rents have not caught up yet. Prices are still high, and it's a very desirable location. So that's kind of why you're seeing this. The rent to price ratio does not make sense. But possibly if you're just an investor who's out there who's going to put 25% down, you obviously wouldn't have the PMI. It could look slightly better. It looks okay better. It wouldn't be something that would cash flow today, but compared to getting an 8% rate, and if you were an investment property, you'd probably be closer to 9 today. It's not going to cash flow for you, nothing crazy. And also there's only a little bit of value add available. Again, if I were coming in, I'm probably looking at offering a lot less to where it starts to make sense. Even there, it doesn't really make sense yet, but you can probably start to get these rents up in a couple of years. And it's just kind of hard though with a 1-bed, 1-bath on each side, because there's not as much room for growth as, let's call it, a 3 or a 4-bedroom, where adding $100 every year to the rent is going to be a lot easier split amongst 4 people than it would be split amongst, let's say, 1 person or a couple. So overall, would we say deal or no deal? In my opinion, I am closing that on you, Howie, and saying no deal to the bank, because I don't think this is necessarily the best property for you to house hack or purchase as a long-term investment. Now, if we went back to the time where we had 3% interest rates, then you are going to start absolutely crushing it. But that is not where we are at, and people are still trying to sell their properties like they are. Now, there's stuff out there that's working a lot better than this one is today and can make a lot more sense, and maybe there's a lot more value add, but this isn't that property. And I'm not only just going to show everybody what works really well and what's going to, make you super wealthy and build your wealth over time. Just shows that just because you're going to purchase a duplex, live in one side and rent the other, does not mean that it's going to be a viable long-term investment, and that you should just buy a house instead of doing something that makes financial sense. Like in this case, if your option was, I'm going to rent this 1-bedroom versus buy this 2-bed, 2-bath duplex, I would much rather rent it. And again, an excuse to always get the money gun out. If you were to buy this property, your money would probably fly away faster than this stuff does out of here, and you would get it back slower than it takes me to pick it all up. There you have it, deal of the week, Durham, North Carolina duplex. And my last deal of the week is actually still out there for sale, and I still think it's a pretty solid property in a different location than this one, but the numbers work out pretty well and there's still some value add play available. So if you're interested in looking to buy, sell, or invest in the Triangle area, I would be happy to help. And if you want to learn more about my cash flow analysis tool, you can scroll down and hit in the description. There's probably a link there somewhere. Hopefully I'm smart enough to put that out there, but sometimes I have a lot going on. Anyway, if you guys like that video, please make sure you scroll down, make that thumbs up button blue if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe if you want to learn more about real estate investing or the agent business, and if you're interested in buying, selling, or investing in the Raleigh-Durham area. Hope you guys had an awesome day, and thanks again for watching, and more wealth is coming your way.